Welcome to another episode of the Speak Your Truth podcast. I'm your host, Laurie. Today I have the fabulous Zsuzsi Winn. Zsuzsi is originally from Budapest, Hungary. She is a I can't even say this word, multidisciplinary artist. You know, it took me a long time to say that word and I still couldn't get it out. She has a studio practice spanning fine art as well as hand-painted surface design. I have seen her work on walls. I have seen her work on canvas. She is amazing. She works primarily in oils, acrylics, and gouache. She creates the most beautiful landscapes, and I cannot wait for you to meet her if you haven't already. She has been busy since she has located to High Point, and recently she has just set up a new studio out at the Cohab space, which is fabulous. I was out there just a week or so ago, and it is wonderful. So let's not waste any more time. Zsuzsi, welcome. Welcome, Zsuzsi. Did I even say it right? I still don't think I said it right. I'm going to get better at it. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. Good morning. Thanks for
So
inviting. This is pretty fun.
I am excited. This is pretty fun. It has become a little passion project of mine to really get artists that are established here in High Point out for the world to see. I am
Me,
so excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. So just for a little backdrop introduction, I think I met you about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago at Studio 136 on Church. And then shortly after that, you moved to a much bigger space at Cohab. Are you loving it?
Yes, I'm loving it. It's truly a dream come true, but I work for it pretty hard to be there. I just believe that this will open up many, many more opportunities, and it's in alignment with my goals for the upcoming year and even further. So I'm very grateful, and I'm happy we met at church, at the studio, and right away we connected. And when I heard that you do this podcast, I said, "What amazing!" Just for someone to do this for us, for our community, it's amazing. We need more exposure, so I'm very grateful for you to do this for other artists, and I'm excited to share whatever I can share with your listeners.
Absolutely. And you know, that is one of the things that really it was being and meeting all of these artists
Mhm.
and really that inspired me to really do this, to start getting people out in front of other people. And a lot of it was because I had kind of I used to be in this group called the 512 Collective. We were over on Washington Drive. We sold the building to D-Up. I say we, it wasn't me, it was whoever owned the building, but um, it was since that kind of folded, we all kind of scattered. We're all still connected on social media and we support each other and like each other's posts and stuff like that. But I wasn't really just I didn't become passionate again about my artwork until I met you and Gary and you know Paige, and it kind of shifted me back onto the path that I was supposed to be on.
That's amazing.
And I Yeah, and I think it's been such a welcome for me to get back to the creative passion that I love. But I am really thrilled. You know, I got to come out and see your studio firsthand, which was just wonderful. And but what I think has really struck me is how you got here.
Mhm.
Like from, you know, moving to High Point and really getting your name out. But I do want to say one more thing that one of the reasons that I just loved you is because most of my friends know I have this passion about birds. And I
Mhm.
walked into your studio with all of your herons and your cranes, and I was like, oh my God, look at this work. It's fabulous.
Thank
So,
you.
you know, a lot of times when people, you know, really start reaching all of their goals, they tend to tell us that, oh, you're so lucky to have this bigger space.
Mhm.
How, you know, have you had people say that to you? I've had people tell me that, oh, I'm lucky, and I'm like, is it luck?
Yes. Constantly I've been, approached, and it's like, oh, you are so lucky to do this as a full-time artist. You are so lucky to, have this studio space. And I firmly believe that, and this is a great opportunity to share that it's nothing based on luck. It is a passion-driven, very goal-oriented path that's very curvy. Nothing happens overnight. Hard work, and you have to just keep believe that whatever you want to accomplish as an artist or a maker, you just have to have that laser focus vision where you want to be. And how I started, basically, I'm originally from Hungary and moved to New York. And after 18 years, moved to High Point for a job opportunity. And to make the story short, I'm coming from a home furnishing industry, and I saw an opportunity and I just jumped on it for this job application that brought me down to High Point. And that's exactly 4 years ago. And the first thing I really wanted to put on my things to do is get to know the town inside out, the local community, and learn about the city, and then finding the creatives and the makers, and also people who are in this home decor industry. And that could be anything from, the creators and also the furniture makers and the vendors. And up to this point, and I'm still doing it, but I was like on a mission. I'm gonna network and I'm gonna go outside, meaning like any kind of events, to network, to introduce myself. I'm here, and see who's doing what. How can I plug in? How can I, if I can contribute, how can I help? And just building relationship. And I didn't have any agenda besides that, like, oh, I'm gonna open my um, art business and I'm gonna launch this product. Nothing like that. I would say 70% of my time was just going out and talking to people. And it was not easy. When I went out, I remember the first HPX Design organized this industry people gathering, cocktail party. I showed up. I was so scared. I remember I told my husband, I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know anyone here. I was like a scared child, but I just wanted to go out there because, again, I had that laser focus.
That's
Uh,
so inspiring, though. It is just because I sit here and I think, oh my gosh, you know how many times I've just sat home going, I don't have anybody to go with. I don't have anybody I don't have a wingman or, you know, and just to show up and not know who's going to be there and not really know how to interject myself into hey, I'm Laurie.
yeah. And I went there and I stood there like an idiot. And let's just say that, everyone was
Yeah.
talking to each other. And one person came up, which was Nicole Collar,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, hi, how are you? And can I get you a drink? And that's how it started. And she was so welcoming. She's an interior designer here in High Point. A lot of people know her.
I love
And
Nicole.
and
Yes.
after that, I got invited for the next event. Now I was not by myself because I got to know one person already. And this is like a snowball effect. So now it got better. Next time I got to know 3 people already when I showed up. But I didn't stop. I'm still doing it up to this point. But the first 3 years I was out. 70% of my time was just doing that. And whatever I can help, if they needed, volunteer help, I just did that. So going back to the you being so lucky, it's not. It's really, you make your own luck by doing the work. And so that was the goal. And 2 years ago, I left my corporate America job, that job that brought me down to High Point, because I had that vision for 15 years. So I worked my career to the point that, like, when I able to quit, I can just focusing on doing this full time. And now this is my second year in my business. And I also knew that I wanted to take my art studio out from my bedroom and be in a professional environment, because then people have the perception, that, okay, you have a physical space, okay, you're running a business, and it's more exposure. So that's how I ended up at 136 studio on Church Avenue. And a lot of people saying I'm going really fast with my progression. And but the reason why, because I'm very laser focused and I just keep doing it. But it's not easy. A lot of times, even though I make it look like easy, it's a lot of things that I have to, like the challenges that it questioning me, like why I'm doing this. Am I gonna make this happen? A lot of hard work. So that's why it's important to build a support around you. So that could be a family member, which in my case, my lovely husband, who's like my biggest cheerleader, but also other people, artists like yourself who's supporting, like, and then outside of the art, maybe there's a mentor who's coming from a different background and can support you. And of course, my mom, my lovely mom, who's still in Hungary, they help me to go through that when I feel like I just want to give up. And
Yeah.
so that's why I don't believe in luck. You just have to spread as many seeds everywhere. And then those are seeds that are opportunities. And that's how I vision it. Okay, maybe that seed is going to start blooming much faster. And it's up to you to recognizing it. Okay, that's taking off. Let me put my attention on that area.
Sure. Let
So
me water that a little bit, right?
exactly. And that takes practice, but if you can create that kind of mentality, and it's like a default, like, okay, I'm gonna focus on that because that's working.
Yeah.
So then I'm on the right place, right time, and meeting with the right people. And some people, and a lot of people saying that that's luck, but it's not. I'm
No.
positioning myself.
It's
And I
it
don't have
is
to work really hard for it. People actually just saying like, do you want to do this? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
what you just said about planting all those seeds. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like farming. When a farmer goes out to to his fields, he doesn't just drop one seed in every hole. He is like, boom, let's put all these seeds out here. We're
Exactly.
going to dig up the soil and then we're going to put the seeds out. And then we're going to get some rain and then we're going to get some sun. And that's all it's the focus on
Yeah.
what's going on. And, if a crop's not doing well, you might need to add some fertilizer.
Hmm.
That you're blowing my mind again. But I think that's great. It is such an amazing tribute to all artists who are working hard. It is something that I have found that it's exactly what you said. It's like I got to get out and network. I try to get to as much stuff as I can. I'm not getting to everything because I do still work a full-time corporate job, but
Hmm.
I try to get to stuff and I try to walk right in with my hand out saying, "Hey, I'm Laurie," instead of, because I have learned at in my 50s, it's also a lot easier to show up and not care if anybody wants to be your friend or not.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you another good example. I was
Yeah.
attending it's like talking about the city's goal, and it was a big
Mhm.
networking event at High
Uh,
Point University. I
uh,
think 500 people sit down launching, and with all the important city members, the mayor was there, and I was assigned to sit at the table, and with a lady, a friendly lady, who turned out to be the owner of a Canadian furniture maker, manufacturer, Decorest. And we don't have too much time, but she asked me who I am, and I said, I'm a local artist. I create my art. So it was really an elevator talk.
yeah.
And here's my card. Let me know if you need any art in your showroom. And she followed up the next week. So if I don't put myself out, nothing really to do with art, right? I went
Right.
to talking about city budget and improvements and the goals, but I said I need to be there because you never know, and I just want to introduce myself and learn about the city. And so this was a good example, that putting the seed there. And so I'm very grateful. So I had that invitation by this furniture company to do a live painting when they opened their new showroom during furniture market, and able to display at least 15 of my artwork to sell and promote myself.
That's
So
amazing. I
that's what.
mean, you know, and it's all because you showed up
Mm,
and introduced yourself, and talked to someone and met someone. I think that that is probably 90% is just showing up, right? You hear it all the time when you're young, but you don't really understand it. I
yeah.
guess for me, it's like when I think of showing up, I'm like, yeah, I'm here to do my job. Okay. But now I want to do a different job, like, so I want to do my art full time. So that's going to require me to start again and work again and do, everything that I need to do to get out and meet people. And
I mean, you have to treat it as a business.
yes,
That's what I keep saying. This is no difference than someone who's running a lawyer office or you selling cars. It's you're running a business, and you can't hide behind your canvas and just paint like you have to. And
right,
it's true. I'm focusing more on business part of it and painting a little bit, but because the first 3 years is so much about this part of the business that you have to network and the business side of it. Once this is done, like the foundation, then that percentage, right now my percentage, I always say that, like, okay, am I still 70% business and 30% creative, or did I now drop that to 60? So I have a goal, like, my next year I want to do 60%. It's never going to be under 50, right? You got to do,
right,
unless you're going to start delegating and hiring people, but you still have to run a business side of it. So,
right. Well, because you are the face of your own business.
so that's what I'm trying to tell
Yeah.
other artists who's like saying that comment. You're so
Yeah.
lucky, but
Yeah.
it's not.
It's not luck, it's hard work. And it is a lot of
It,
work.
it's worth it, but
Yeah.
I work more than when I work for corporate America. Let's just say that.
I
Oh,
think that that is the general consensus that if you are doing what you're passionate about,
mhm.
it's, I think the exchange is worth it.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I like the freedom of finally I can decide what I want to do, how I want to do it, and with whom. This was always like, I want this ultimate freedom. So I think that's why I'm also associated with birds, because birds can just decide, all right, I'm done with this area.
Yep.
I'm taking off and going there and just
Yeah.
see what's going on. So I think I'm trying to figure out why I'm so associated with birds generally.
Well, and I know I totally feel that because I have the same thing. I'll go and lay in my backyard. I'll put a blanket down and I'll just watch the birds fly around.
It's the
You know,
freedom. It's
yeah,
fascinating.
it is fascinating. One of the things that I think, when you talk about your birds, and I was looking at the painting behind you and thinking about when you said when you first moved here, you wanted to learn everything about High Point, and it was almost like I was born here, right? And so everything that's here, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great spot. That's a great spot. Do I ever go and take advantage of it? Probably not. But after a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about, you know, the lakes, how fabulous they are and how wonderful they are. And I was like, you know what? I live right down the street from the city lake. It's technically in Jamestown, but it's called the High Point City Lake.
Mhm.
And, we went over to the day in the park and I was like, park over here so we can walk all the way in and really enjoy the lake and enjoy the trail. And um, it was inspiring to hear somebody who's not from here about how wonderful it is. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I was walking over this bridge thinking, this is really cool. You
Yeah.
don't get this in a lot of places. And
No,
this is something that I appreciate from you, kind of reopening my eyes to say, love where you live, man. This is what what you have at your fingertips, and it's free
I
to
know.
go and hang out by these lakes. And
I feel like this is like we keep saying it. My husband and I, we live actually on the Oak Hollow Lake nearby, and that's where I started. I was kayaking. I'm like, what is this? I always came here to High Point as a buyer, but no one mentioned. I'm working with locals and all that. No one mentioning the two lakes, and that's what is like. I said, this feels like, I went on like an upstate New York or some like vacation place, and two lakes within 10 minutes driving range and distance. And I remember the first time I rowed the kayak out and I saw this giant creature, feathered bird, and I was like, what is this? Because, I'm from Hungary. Never in my life, I mean, I saw it on TVs, but I never seen blue heron or egret. And that moment, I just remember it touched me so much. I'm like, I started to paint these birds. As much as I'm so obsessed with them, I started to look up their meanings, spiritual meanings throughout different cultures. And the common takeaway is that it stands for patience, grace, and prosperity. But patience was coming up constantly. And I said, I think this is a sign for me that um, that time I left my job and I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, what I just done, throwing a very great career, just out there. And I jumped in a deep pool. And for the first 2 months, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I should do this. Like something's supposed to happen already. And I think the birds came in the right time, right place, teaching me a lesson like you just have to be patient, stand still, your rewards are coming. How the bird is standing there. I mean, we have a little pond in our backyard, and there's one blue heron always come here. Like, okay, we know the character. He's an old man, and just standing there for hours waiting for one fish.
yeah,
And there's so much you can learn about this if we just slow down. And through my paintings, this is what I'm on the mission to bring that in people's home, because the world is now, spinning outside, out of control. And if I, as an artist, I can contribute to someone's life to have the painting in their room and just they losing their mind because they have so much to deal with, um, just to stand there for 1 second to glance on my painting and give them that stillness, that like you're standing by the water and just take it in, that oxygen in your lungs, and just a calm effect comes to you, then I know I done my part, my job as an artist. And so important to help other people to promote well-being,
yes,
no matter
absolutely.
what medium you have or what type of talent you have. I think it's important as a human being to help others to feel better and make their life easier, whatever you can do. And this is my tool to do that. And I hope I'm achieving that, but so far, yeah.
Personally, I feel like that because, like I said, when I first walked in your studio at 136, I was like, oh my gosh. It was so nice. And, that is one of the things. I don't paint landscapes a lot, but that is one of the things that really, like when I go to the coast and or I am around it doesn't really matter what kind. I like being by the water,
Yeah.
and just it's my happy place. So it's that calming. It is, nature watching. It's all of that,
Yeah. And I
which
mean,
is just wonderful. So I personally feel like you're achieving it, at least for me. So thank you.
yeah.
I wanted to talk about one more thing that, well, really two more things, because I think I want to talk about your experience at the Hamptons house. Because I have, I think I told you that I was a co-chair for one of the junior league show houses that we did probably about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It seems it's probably been 15 years. It's been a lot longer than I think. But I know what kind of fun and excitement that is for those of us that are organizing it and also for those who are participating. How was that experience in the Hamptons?
Gosh, I feel like it went so like a blink of eye. Like did it really happen? So again, I had a pop-up art show, and Nicole Collar, interior designer, she approached me like, listen, I have a project that's coming up in Hamptons Designer Show House, and I need paintings. Would you be open to paint artwork over the bed? She did a bedroom
Mhm.
design for the house. And that was 3 weeks before opening. So there was, I'm scared. I'm like, I never done a show house. I don't even know what it takes to do that. And what I have to create painting, not one, but three. And I use oil. So I'm like, oh my God. My first instinct, this is too big project. I cannot do it. But again, I said, no, pushing forward, Zsuzsi, this is what you are working for. Opportunities like that, you're just going to make it happen. I said, okay, let's do it. And again, 12 hours putting in, each day. And I said, no matter what, I'm going to make this work. So, it happened in August. We had the opening gala, and first time, walking in to the building, and again, a lot of strangers. I don't know anyone. And this is like, the Hollywood side of, on the East Coast. It's very fancy, beautifully dressed people, and it's a whole world, like you're walking into a movie set. And I'm walking in, and actually I ended up meeting with one designer who I knew. So she was comforting me, and she said, like, Zsuzsi, you wait when you go up to the bedroom, you're gonna see your painting. It's gonna be mind blowing. And it's like, it's perfectly matched, like it's meant to be. I'm like, great. So I'm walking up, and I'm so scared, like, oh, do I really want to see it? And I walked in, and I got emotional because I said, wow, the colors and everything was just perfectly complementing each other. So the project, how I did it, I asked all of the fabric samples from Nicole to provide me that could inspire me and see how can I mix out the colors that's complementing it but not overpowering it. And it worked out so wonderfully. And it was very busy, a lot of people in and out, and Nico was there, and they asked who did the art. And I had a chance to speak about what inspired me. And it's capturing marshlands, and not the ocean, but exactly the north side of Long Island, the Sag Harbor, which I did a little bit of study. I looked up online to learn about the region. And later on, I actually walked that area on my own, and I took some pictures of that too.
I
But
truly love that you like focused your painting on the area where
yeah,
you could have used, wetlands from anywhere, but
yeah,
you did that extra bit of research, right?
I just liked it.
Yeah.
It's important for me. And I love it. It was fun for me to learn actually about it.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, I could paint a southern marshland, but I just wanted to do something that's more appropriate for that area.
Yeah.
But then next day I was there too. That's when they opened to the public. So homeowners were coming, and again, same feedback that, wow, so the artist actually was the inspiration to create the room. And I said, no, it happened the other way around. So that was a nice compliment that a lot of people thought that my art was the trigger point to kind of start the whole room theme. But my takeaway, I took this opportunity. I could easily just send my artwork up and not fly up there.
Right.
But I said, I need to invest in this because there are a lot of other interior designers going to be there. So I looked at it. This is also a business opportunity for me to go there and networking. And I did. And as a result, I have a couple of designers who frequently coming to Hypon Market, and they're gonna come and see me at Cohab Space at my new studio because of that. So, and then I went to check art galleries. I introduced myself there too. I dropped a couple of my cards. So 3 things I combined with
Yes.
this experience. So my takeaway that I think if you have an opportunity as an artist, give a try because you're going to learn so much, what to do, what not to do. And then I got published, the room got published in the Hamptons Cottage and Gardens magazine. So that was another
Yeah.
bonus that now my work is featured in a magazine that I can put on my website. So
Yeah.
mm, I
That is so amazing.
just,
And, I think one of the things that has stood out in our conversation here today is that, did you say you moved here 4 years ago? 4. One,
mm,
2, 3, 4. And you have just been so working here corporate. So you were probably in your business 50%. And then you jumped 100%. And, and so you're like, I might be down to 70% of this networking now. I mean, just in 4 years. And I just want to really focus on the amount of work that it takes to
mm,
push yourself to where you are
mm,
in that small amount of time, because that's why that is why I think people say you're lucky, but it is really working your fanny off, right? I mean, really.
yeah.
And then to end up in the Hamptons, what a wonderful, I mean, I personally have known Nicole my whole life.
Mhm,
I used to live across the street from her parents, and, when I first got married. And so I have always known her and her siblings and her parents. And so I know what a wonderful soul she is. She is so kind. When her kids were little, I used to teach art camp in my basement, and they would come to my art camp. So, it's kind of, I love all of these little connections that even you didn't know until I just told you.
mhm.
But I am just so excited for you. You have so many great opportunities coming your way. And next up, just in a week or so, we have High Point Furniture Market. I hope that between this recording and when we put this out, that you get some sleep.
Yes, actually, I talked to with other artist friend, and we said, can we give us a deadline where we give a little, maybe 2 days just to rest before market starts because we working like constantly, and we're gonna make ourselves so exhausted and sick. So I said, okay, I'm very ambitious. Next week is still working week, and then the following week is just like fine tuning, but just chill and all that. We'll see if it happens, but if I can get 3 days before market just to rest, then it's good. But yes, Hype on Market, I'm very passionate about it. It's very humbling actually being on this side because I used to be coming here and I was a buyer and I'm buying home decor product for well-known brands for their retail stores. So now I'm the one who's selling it. So I'm like, how it's gonna be, this is different now. And yes, I have like I'm scared. I'm definitely
Yeah.
scared, but in the meantime, I believe what I'm providing, and I'm hoping, by me talking about my artwork and feeling the passion, they will relate to it, and I will be successful. But yes, I'm only at Cohab Space a month. I wish I had a little more time to prepare, and now I'm in the decision like it's not gonna be 100% being ready, but what I have, it's good enough for me to show who I am. And if I don't have that, fine-tuned brochure, if I'm not gonna make the brochure this market, fine, I will do it next spring. But I feel confident. I have enough inventory that I able to show and sell. And there's like a little surprise cash and carry type of
Ooh.
small collectible collection that I was able to squeeze in. So it's a good, how I'm looking at it, it's gonna be a good learning opportunity for me. It's almost like a market research to see how people react, what they're asking. And I'm going to take notes on that. So when next year, next spring, I will know what to do, what not to do, what I put my energy in. Do I really need 8 pages of brochure to give out? Or is it okay enough for me just to stand at my place and talk about my art? And again, like the networking, each market is going to get better and more. I'm going to have like more fine-tuned system or whatever you call it, because it's not more than just, putting your artwork there. It's like, tagging, the QR codes, uploading images for the website. I just able to squeeze in some photo shoots so I can have some marketing material to promoting it on social. So it is a lot, and that's something people need, as an artist. A lot of people don't paying attention. Like, yes, it's good
No,
to be a full-time artist, but this is this is
there's so much more than me
yeah,
just standing here painting, right?
this is 70%. I mean, I haven't painted now, I don't know. Yeah, and every time when
Yeah.
I have this big gap and I'm picking up the paintbrush, is like I feel like I haven't painted in my entire life. What I'm doing, you know. So
Yes, I totally agree with you. It's the business part of it is so it takes up a lot of the time.
mhm.
And so when you're ready to step into it, you need to already have a good portfolio going because once you step into the business side of it, that's going to take the majority of your time.
Yes, and that's what I actually did at the beginning. Other than networking, when I did the solo show, I built
Mhm.
up some inventory. So I have this flexibility that, okay, I know now I have to focus on the business. So now I can, I'm going to have a pop-up event too after market. If I don't have that much inventory, I would have to say no to that opportunity.
Right.
So things like that. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for hypermarket, and not gonna focus on like how much I'm gonna sell. I'm
No.
focusing on creating relationship again,
Yeah.
networking, and get to know as many interior designers and buyers. And then the magic is happening after that, the follow-ups, nurturing
Yes.
those relationships. So next spring is gonna get even better. So my expectation, I'm trying to, even though I want to sell everything, I just want to be level-headed, focusing on just having fun and building relationship and get to know people and just talk about my art. And if I can just stick to that, then I had the best market ever. So
That's awesome. I am so excited for your for upcoming market. I am
thank
so excited. Before we close out today, I just want to mention there will also be an open house at Cohab in November on the
you. Yes,
4th. Is that right? 10th?
November 8th.
8th.
November
Look,
8th.
I was like 4th, 8th. I was close, or 10th. November 8th
Yes.
is there'll be an open house out at Cohab, and I have met several other artists, and of course, we know Amanda. I saw your ring. I didn't know that she created that was inspired by your artwork, which is very cool. I just saw that on social media the other day. But there are a couple of other artists that I met out when I was out there that a couple weeks ago, and there are so many things to see and to do at Cohab all the time. There's always music. There's always something happening. Um, but I'm very excited about the open house. I will be there, and of course, to help promote and support. Um, Zsuzsi, thank you so much for coming on my website. You're probably laughing because I still probably didn't pronounce your name right, but I really was over here trying. I was going Zsuzsi,
Yeah,
Zsuzsi.
you
There, I got
got it.
it.
Yeah,
Zsuzsi.
you got it.
Come out to Cohab and see Zsuzsi and look at her amazing art and oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. It is beautiful. And I'm very excited for you. All of the fun things happening for you, but not by accident. I appreciate all of your inspiration and hard work for me as an artist, um, because I think it's good for everybody to hear that because we don't know what we don't know. We
Mhm.
just don't know what, why, how are we selling our art? What are we doing? You know, and
Yeah, I'm still figured out, but
yeah,
I'm just keep moving forward, like,
yeah,
okay, this didn't work, like, pricing, all right, we'll see. But
yeah.
again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, I really appreciate you being here today, and I can't wait to see you sometime soon. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, take care. All right,
Thanks.
bye.
Thanks for joining us today on the Speak Your Truth podcast. It was so much fun learning all the wonderful things that Zsuzsi has got going on. You can see her during the High Point Market out at Cohab Space in High Point, North Carolina. If you are here in town for market, be sure to check her out. She is amazing. And I hope we'll see you here next time. Thanks so much.